Good morning, guys. Good morning. Good morning. And how do you do? Good morning. Welcome to the Fearless Morning Show. You haven't seen this background in a while, have you? I know. I've been doing it in the car. So today we're in the office for just a short period of time. Good morning, y'all. I'm trying to get into my Facebook and it doesn't want me to be great this morning. That's all right. We're going to get in it anyway. Good morning, and how do you do? Good morning, Mr. Valley. How you guys doing this morning? This is my usual background, but since my daughter has started going to a different school, I have changed my background to the car, so you guys normally get the car edition. So today, good morning, Kimberly. I am back in the house. I was trying to log into Facebook so I could type with you guys, but it doesn't want me to be great. That's okay. It's gonna be okay. All right, guys. I hope you guys have been sharing the show. Because I really hope it's been helping somebody. My lovely co-host, Miss Lynn, will not be with us this morning. She had a sick baby. She had a sick baby over the night. And so she will not. Good morning, Charlene. She will not be joining us. So you guys keep her in your prayers so that hope Mr. Malachi is going to be A-OK. So today, guys, if you guys know, I hope you caught the show every day this week. I talked about problems and solutions, and you're both the problem and the solution. And one day this week, I talked about a problem cannot exist without an answer. And I'm hoping that I've been giving you guys some things to think about every morning. And to, as Miss Margaret says, yesterday was Thinking Thursday. So I hope I gave you guys something to think about. As always, give you something to think about that perhaps changes your mindset to do something different. So today's topic for the day is never give anyone else permission to change who you are. Never give anyone else permission to change who you are. And sometimes we may think that we don't give people permission to change who we are, but we absolutely do. When you are in a crazy relationship or a crazy friendship, I have been friends with people who I changed how I interacted with them because of who they were. And that wasn't fair to me, and it wasn't fair to them because they wasn't getting the full account of my friendship. And then I'm busy acting to them, so I'm not getting a full account of their friendship. So you never allow anybody to change who you are just to be with them. If you're in a crazy relationship, if you're in a crazy marriage. I was in a crazy marriage, and some of the things that I had to change and what are you changing simply to survive in that relationship? Think about that. What are you changing simply to survive in a relationship that you have? Are you changing your core? Are you changing your character? Are you changing how you love or how you don't love? Are you putting limitations on what you give and don't give? Are you putting limitations on what you show and what you don't show? Good morning, Miss Mark. I talked about you yesterday, Thinking Thursday. My topic was, I told them I was giving them something to think about. And please see your show for Thinking Thursday on yesterday. You got to correct. And Miss Margaret, you don't know, but in my house, I'm a queen. I'm a sticky quote. And one of my quotes, I'm taking it off my computer, is strengthening your voice by speaking your truth. And that's what you have to do. And if you realize that you don't have a voice in that relationship, then your strength is also gone. It makes it harder for you to stand up for yourself. It makes it harder for you to be who you really are, because you are, what's the word I want to use? Downplaying who you are to fit who they are. I found that in my abusive relationship, that's what I was pretending not to be smart because number one, he told me I wasn't, and then number two, I realized if I said that I was, or I thought better than he did, or said something that made him feel like he wasn't as smart, then the repercussions were outrageous. And so here I was changing who I was to fit a relationship. So how many of you are changing who you are at your core to fit a friendship, to fit a marriage, to fit a job? And so, yeah, we have to do it for our job, but who I am at my core should not change. If who you are at your core is changing, if you're having a fight against your own character, if you find yourself holding back or giving less than because of, then you might want to question your relationship with that person, with that friendship, with whatever the situation may be. Sometimes the hardest thing for me, you guys have heard me tell the story, was questioning my friendship with a friend that I've had for years. And it was so hard, and I wasn't ready to put my big girl panties on and handle the situation head on. So what I did is I avoided it altogether until I was able to do that. But I found that I was changing who I was to accommodate them so that they didn't feel less than, but they were not accommodating or trying to include me, so I felt less than. Please understand, it is a privilege to be your friend. It is a privilege to be in your life. It is a privilege to be, someone's husband or wife. We all bring something to the table. And so be mindful of that when you are reassessing your friendships, because it is your circle and your friendships that will take you absolutely where you want to be. And if you're not getting to where you want to be, take a look at the people around you. Are they pouring into you? Are they giving you the support and the things that you need that help you? Relationships, of course, are give and take, right? So are you that friend that everybody that is forcing people to change, or are your friends forcing you to change? So think about that today. Never give anybody permission to change who you are. And I realized I had given my ex-husband all the permission in the world to change who I was. And then when I left, I had the hardest time ever finding myself. I had the hardest time ever redefining who I was. I had the hardest time picking out what was true to me, because I had lived his truth for so long. And when you find that you are living for somebody else and you're living for their truth in their world, it is hard to find yourself. You're lost. And I know for me, that is the reason why some women don't leave abusive relationships. Or it doesn't even have to be abusive. It could be emotional. It could be, praise the Lord, Charlene. Fantastic Freedom Friday. And that is the best gift you could ever give yourself. Get rid of your crazy. And when I tell you, when you decide to get rid of your crazy, this that sits here, because this is where I carry my stress, this that sits here will automatically lighten instantaneously. When you have decided in your mind that I absolutely refuse to allow somebody to change who I am, then when you decide, and it's all we talked about actions all this week. What was that, Pat? We talked about actions all this week, and the things that, like we know the answer. A problem can't exist without an answer. We just have to be bold enough to accept the answer and bold enough to do the work of the answer. And once you get that, once you realize, yes, that's it, the stress is gone. I ain't going to tell you that the work is not easier. And as I was saying, I'm a firm believer that some people don't leave crazy. Whatever that may be for you, your crazy job, friendship, whatever it may be, it is simply because, number one, we don't want to do the work. And then number two, we have no idea who we are outside of them. And so the simple fact of now I have to redefine, or I have to figure out who I am without them, scares people, and they realize it's a little work, and they would rather deal with the comfort of crazy than of discipline of freedom. So I'd rather conform and slouch down to fit this circle that they've put me in, or this box that they put me in, than rather be the triangle of me, the circle of me, to be different. It is going to take time. It is going to take work, but it's absolutely worth it. You cannot give people permission to change who you are. And when you realize that you have that power, it is a great, great thing. You can't allow people to change who you are. One of my favorite quotes comes from my friend, and this is one of the whole purposes of the Fearless Morning Show. And I was talking to him one day, and the purpose of me, one of my purposes, is to feed. It's not my job to feed into your doubts and your fears. It is my job to feed into your dreams and your future. If you come to me, I will not participate in your pity party. However, I will feed into your dreams and your future. I will not feed into your doubt and your fears, because you've done that enough. And you need friends who are going to support you. Now, if your friends are feeding into your doubts and your fears, and you tell them something, they're like, yeah, girl, I know, I'd be scared too. You might want to check your friendship circle. I'm just saying. That's the hardest thing on this journey to live past crazy, is checking your circle. But once you start to do it, it becomes easier. Once you realize it's a privilege to be your friend and to be in your circle, and vice versa. It is a privilege to be your friend's friend. It is a privilege to be in their life as well. Then the dynamics of your relationship will change. Then there's more respect, because in the beginning, it may be not a give and take relationship. It may simply be somebody is strictly giving and somebody is strictly giving. So today, guys, never give anybody permission to change who you are at your core. Don't do that. Don't give them permission to change who you are at your core. Because as soon as you give them permission to change who you are at your... Good morning, my friend. How are you? The minute you give them permission to change who you are is the minute you give up your rights to yourself, because then they will do that. Right. Therefore, we have no boundary. Minister Valerie, preach it. Amen. And again, it goes back to step one to living past crazy, which is be quiet. Some of us are absolutely so afraid to be alone, to be by ourselves, to figure out what it is that we want, that we inundate ourselves with people and things. So because we assume that we're going to find what we're looking for, or find that happiness in someone else or with somebody else, that we don't realize it comes from the inside. And if it can't come from the inside, it can't come in from the outside, because the inside is going to block it, because the inside doesn't know what it looks like. You can't tell me you're looking for love when you don't love yourself on the inside. Because if love came up and slapped you in the face, you would not know what it was. I'm a living witness. You will not. Until you get still, until you get quiet. And like Minister Valerie says, until you know who you are, then you have no boundaries or convictions. It's hard. And a lot of people may say, yes, I do. Then you may have them, but they're not strong. Let me tell you why. Your boundaries and your convictions are not strong if you don't love yourself on the inside, because you can't accept love from the outside. If you don't have that, when somebody presents crazy to you, right, Kim, and neither did I. I didn't know who JoJo was. JoJo, Yamitra, whatever name you wanted to call me. I didn't know anybody. I didn't know who she was. But until you get quiet, you're not going to know what your boundaries are. And then when somebody comes and they test a boundary, they push their agenda or their boundaries on you, because their boundaries and their convictions are totally different from yours. And the minute they push theirs onto you and you accept it, that is the line. That's when you know your convictions and your boundaries are not as strong as you thought they were. Because as soon as he pushed you, as soon as he talked crazy to you, as soon as your girlfriend says something out the side of her neck, as soon as you accept the behavior that they present before you as okay, they realize that your boundaries and your convictions are not set. They realize they are not strong. And you, Mr. Valley, you are easily molded to someone else. Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Mr. Valley is on it with, I ain't even got to tell her the scripture. She be on it. Thank you so much. Because, guys, if you don't know who you are, you will absolutely conform to whoever they say you will be. I became what my abuser said. I became fat, ugly, stupid, dumb. I became all of those words because he told them to me. And because my boundaries were not set, I didn't have anything to stop him with. And because the love of me wasn't strong enough, I couldn't stop him. And so when he came in with his love, I assumed it was correct. And it is not. So you've got to figure out who you are. The first step to live past crazy is to get quiet, to figure out who you are. This is what I know. You will not find the love that you're seeking. You will not find the friendship that you need. You will not find the companion that you need. You will always be absolutely searching for that missing thing as long as you do not love yourself. You will search to the day you die looking for it. Good morning, Deanne. You will find forever searching for it. I promise you, you will try to find it in every man. You will try to find it in every job. You will try to find it in every child. You will try to find it everywhere. And you won't be able to touch it. It won't be there. Simply because the self-love is not set first. When the self-love is set first, then the majority of what you need comes, from God. Thank you, Jesus. But from yourself. And then you're able to recognize it from somebody else. But if you don't have that self-love, you will always be looking on the outside for somebody to feel something on the inside that only you can do. And until you get ready to do the work, until you want to do the work, you will have, the man that you date will always be the same. You will always date the same crazy man. And for my fellas, you will always date the same crazy woman. She will always have the same criteria. She will always have the same problems. And the same thing for men, for women. He will always say the same crazy. Nothing will change until you change. Period. So you've got to never give anybody permission to change who you are at your core. And if somebody has changed that in you, then you have to decide what are you going to do about it. Because it takes action. And y'all, I love yesterday's thought of the day, so let me read it one more time. A problem can exist without the answer, so you know the answer to your problem already. The answer already exists as our thinking that prohibits us from saying the answer. So you already know the answer. You just don't want to say it out loud. And we must be bold enough to accept the answer to the problem and bold enough to do the action of the answer. So if you know you're missing that self-love and you know that you have your standards are being challenged and you're not who you are, true to your core, the work is that you have to do something about it. You've got to work on the inside. You've got to be quiet. And until you get bold enough to do the work of it, yes, ma'am. And in her, don't you think, Deanne, that it's important to have that in husband-wife relationships? Like, you absolutely have to have that. Here's the thing. No other person is going to make you as happy as you can make you. That's never going to happen. They will complement your happiness. They will complement your life just like you complement their life and you complement their happiness. You may bring something that they can't give themselves, but if it's not in your core, they will not be able to give it to you. I don't care how big the ring, how big the house. I don't care how many I love yous. I don't care the gifts, the adoration. It doesn't matter. If it's not in the core, there's absolutely nothing anybody in this whole entire world can do for you that's going to make you could be as rich as you want to be. And you may think, girl, if I was rich, well, I might could live with it. Nope, because your soul would be perplexed and you'd still be searching for that self-love that only you can give to yourself. So if it's not set on the inside, it's going to be hard to receive it from the outside. Not only that, it's going to be hard to push it to the outside. It's going to be harder for you to share it with other people, including your children, including your husband. And you may think, oh, I love my kids, but take a look at your actions. Because what are you teaching your children? Because we leave life legacies. Every day we are building habits for our children. Period. Every day that you wake up, you're building a habit for your child. When you wake up, they know mama's going to wake up. She's going to cook breakfast, wash her face, brush her teeth, go to work. She knows what mommy is going to do. You are building habits for your children. They are watching your relationships. And that is the habit that you're building for your children. So when they go out into the world, they want to be like mommy or they want to be like daddy. And you've instilled in them their habits in that household. So they assume That is the way of the world. So yeah, you may say you love yourself and you love your children, but think about the habits that you are passing on to them. What are you really saying to your children? That we struggle and strive every day, that in order for somebody to love you, we have to argue. But as long as you got nice clothes and a nice house, it's okay, because that's love. So we got to think about that. And I'm not saying one is better than the other or one is not better than the other. All I'm saying is self-love is key to where you want to be. It is absolutely key. And Minister Valerie, let me go back to what she said a few minutes ago. You got to know the work. Know who you are, and you have to know your boundaries and your convictions. If not, you will be easily molded to someone else. And what you'll find is you're coming out of a 10-year marriage or friendship or whatever relationship that you have, not knowing who you are, having to reinvent yourself again. But that is the exciting part, because now you get to lay down new rules to you. You get to say what is acceptable and what is not, what you're going to take on and what you're not going to take on. And it's not to be rude, but in your self-growth, you have to be selfish about who you are. You have to be selfish about what people are coming to you, what you're going to accept. And that's your right to do that. So, guys, never give anybody permission to change who you are. Absolutely do not do that. You can be your own person. And remember, it is my job as y'all meet your JoJo Waddell, the only Live Past Crazy specialist. It is my job to feed into your dreams and your future. It is not my job to feed into your doubts and your fears. That's not the purpose of the morning show. If you send me a message, I am Positive Patty. I'm always going to have something positive to say. Yes. Oh, dear. Isn't it? It will break your heart to the point where you want them to come live with you, right? And because I'm like that with some family members. Like, can they just come live with me? I don't care what I have to do, because I don't want them to see that. Because I saw it as a kid growing up. And even though I was adamant that I wasn't going to live in that life, I did live that life. And then when it hit me that if I kill myself, one, what is my abuser going to tell my children? But two, are they going to grow up to think this is normal? And do I want that for my girls? And that was the very thing that stopped me from jumping out that window. That was the very thing that stopped me from ending it. I didn't want his story to be my truth. And he was telling my truth. Why would I give him power to tell my truth for me, to my children? Why are you giving somebody else power to tell your truth when it is not theirs to tell? Why are you allowing them to take it from you when it is not theirs to take? Don't do that. Yeah, Deanna, it's hard when you see that. And so that was the thing for me. I did not want that for my children. And here you go. Strengthen my voice by speaking my truth. I am a quote queen. If y'all can see my computer, I have quotes all around it, all on my desk, everywhere, because it is essential. Don't give your truth away to somebody else. Don't allow them to take it. Don't allow them to change who you are at your core. And as Minister Valerie said, reshape you into who they want you to be. I've been there. And when you start to figure out who you are and what you want to do, the process will be harder just because you've lost yourself along the way. It was a hard thing to find out who Meet Your JoJo Waddell was in the beginning. And please understand, it's going to take time. I'm not talking 6 months. I'm talking years. Okay? So make sure that you take the time to do the work, to do what you need to do. So, all right, guys. I hope you have enjoyed the Fearless Morning Show. My co-host, Miss Lynn Demons, will be back on Monday. Miss America's #1 rebound coach. Yes, she said it. America's #1. So make sure you check us back here on Monday morning. I hope you have an amazing weekend. I hope you enjoyed the show this week, because I think I've given you a lot of things to think about, and that's the purpose, at least for me, to give you some things to think about, to help change your mindset, because your mind has got to, I was looking for my book. Your mind has got to change first. If your mind doesn't change, your behavior will not change. You may change out of your physical location. I think it's shareable, Miss Deanne. I remember you like for people to pronounce your name correctly, Miss Deanne. I think you can share it from the thing, but if not, I'll share it to you to through message. But please, guys, make sure, as Miss Deanne is doing, make sure you share the video because it helps us a lot if you share the video. Thank you, Miss Kimberly. We love you. Share the video. And if your family and friends do not have Facebook, we do have a YouTube channel. And I will post that as soon as, you can come on in, listen. I will post that as soon as we get off the show because we're doing a Fearless Morning show here this morning because you're going to say good morning?
Good morning.
And Rosie's up bright and early this morning.
I mean, because you were talking and I wanted to hear what you were saying, which was really powerful.
Oh, well, they can't see you.
Also, you made a grammatical error in your last sentence.
I did. I made a grammatical error. And what was that?
You were like, check CS next week or something like that.
Oh. What I was trying to say.
Yeah, I know, but it was not.
Who is the English major in the house? Who majored in English? I'm just saying that she checking my grammar. But y'all know what? Grammar is not my strong point. If you talk to me about literature, I got you. Right, Rosie? Yes. But not for grammar. That's what Grammarly.com is for. All right, guys. Please make sure you share the video with their family or friends. It was somebody you know who needs to live past crazy. I am also looking to do a weekend retreat for those who are ready to live past crazy, like a big girl slumber party where we can talk some things. I think that's cute. A big girl slumber party.
No, that's cute, but it can be taken two different ways.
An adult girl sleepover.
Why don't you just say an adult
girl
yeah.
pajama party? How about that? Anyway, we're going to be talking about how to live past crazy in our life. So if you guys are interested, let me know. Remember, today's thought is never give anybody permission to change who you are. Oh, thank you, Miss Deanne. She said we have an amazing mom and daughter relationship. Rosie can't see. She doesn't have glasses
Sorry,
on.
I don't have my glasses on. Thank you.
She's getting ready for school. But Monday, we will be back in the car, right, Rosemont?
Yes.
We'll be back in the car.
Yeah.
I wish we could do the show here, but because our school is so far away, we have to do it in the car. All right, guys, have an amazing Friday. Be safe this weekend. Let me give you my quote. If y'all have been watching the show since November of last year, you know this is my favorite quote. Now I got to hang it with tape. Somebody is waiting to hear your voice, and they will not move until you move. So what are you going to do today? Strengthen your voice by speaking your truth. Don't make me pull out all my sticky notes. Yeah, don't make me pull out my sticky notes. Remember, it's not my job to feed into your doubts and your fears. It is my job to feed into your dreams and your future. I appreciate you guys for joining the Fearless Morning Show every morning. I greatly appreciate it. Please make sure you share the video, and we will see you here bright and early on Monday morning. And did I miss anything, Rosie?
No.
Okay. All right, guys. Have an amazing weekend, and we will see you bright and early on Monday morning. Have a good one.